All right, Counterpunch Boxing. What's up, YouTube? Okay, look, I want to go over the weight, basically the weight history of Chavez Jr. Again, we're getting a lot of bad information out there. I'm hearing people, they say, oh, he hasn't weighed this much, since like Martinez, and he can't do this and he can't do that, and so I went, and basically I got every weight from every fight, and I want to show you why or how I believe that Golden Boy Promotion came up. With the catch weight that they came up with, 164.5. I mean, how did they arrive at that particular weight? So and it's really not hard to figure out. So you go back. I mean, let me just get into it real quick. And basically, I just want to break them all down and tell you what I believe will happen during the Canelo Chavez fight as far as the weight thing goes. So the catch weight, yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's pretty low, but it can be done, and it's being done right now with Mimo Heredia. That's the key to Chavez. Chavez needs a strength and conditioning coach. If you go back to any weight issues he had, he really didn't have any kind of strength and conditioning coach, or he had just a shitty one. So now he's got Mimo Heredia, which with all the controversy, he is a good strength and conditioning coach. Okay, so I mean, now how they get to where they need to be that's the debate, with the PEDs and all that shit. But I don't want to get into that. So, but going back, I went back to like right around Sebastian zbik. Okay, and this is 2011. All right, now. That fight was at middleweight, okay, 160 pounds. Chavez came in 180, came in 20 pounds over the middleweight limit. So, uh, and this is a pattern you're going to see here moving forward. Okay, now during the Rubio fight, all right, the Marcio Antonio Rubio fight in February 2012, Chavez he weighed in 159 and a half. Made weight by the made weight for Sebastian Zbik, and then made weight for Rubio. Came in 181 pounds, so he put on 21 and a half pounds, literally overnight. And we're talking about between a 24 and a 27-hour period. He's putting on 18 to 21 and a half pounds. Okay, Peter Manfredo. Oh, and again, the Rubio, he did get on the HBO unofficial scale, so that is documented. Okay, Peter Manfredo. Okay, moving forward to that fight. Now again, this is still 2011. This is November 2011. And people say, everyone keeps referring to the Martinez fight, which didn't take place until 2012. So I'm showing you, and it was actually towards the end, almost 2013. So 2009, 10, 11. He was making this weight. Okay, and we'll get to the Martinez fight in a minute, and I'll explain what I mean. But so Peter Manfredo, okay, Manfredo, 150, Chavez 159, came in 179, 19 and a half pounds over. So you see a pattern here. He's putting on about 20 pounds of weight. Each night, which is what I think he's going to do with Canelo. Okay, now going to Andy Lee. I mean, look at this. This is Chavez at 159 pounds. Okay, I mean, he just looks like a skeleton. But you'll notice the difference now. The difference between like the Andy Lee, 100, which he'll be 164. He'll look a lot better than this. The difference between the Chavez now and then is, like I said, he's got Mimo. I mean, he looks good. He's cut. He's lean. He's trim. He's not just basically starving himself for a week to make that middleweight limit. They're just slowly bringing him down to that targeted weight, which is 164. So I don't think he's going to look like this right here. I think he's going to look a lot better, and I'll show you what I think Chavez will look like. I mean, you can see like his face, like it doesn't even look like him right here. It's kind of scary, man. But so anyway, Andy Lee. This was I believe, the middle of 2012. By the way, again, Chavez put on like 20 pounds during that fight, and Andy Lee said he couldn't handle the power, couldn't handle the weight. I believe Chavez stopped him in the seventh round, if memory serves me correct. The referee waved it off. I think I went back and watched the highlight. I think it was like the seventh round. So, but yeah, the ref stopped it. He made weight. Everything was good. And, during that fight, he actually looked good. So now let's get into Martinez. This is like the talking point right here. So I just showed you Sebastian Zbik, Rubio, Manfredo, Andy Lee. He made weight. No problem with all these guys. Okay. Now, moving forward to the Martinez, and I know it's kind of blurry right there. I doubt you can see it, but September 2012, actually the month I was born, good month. Sergio Martinez, they both weighed in at 3:42 p.m. I can tell you the exact time they got on the scale in September, 3:42 p.m. Okay, now remember, Chavez was with Freddie Roach around that time, and this was back when, Freddie Roach was talking about how, he'd have to go to his house and move furniture around just to get him to hit the mitts, so it was a very undisciplined Chavez, smoking pot, eating McDonald's, whatever, that kind of thing. But again, I think right now, I think we have a much more disciplined, focused Chavez. I really do. So that's why, I think he's going to beat Canelo. I mean, that's my honest opinion. I'm not just saying that to, like ruffle feathers out there. Like, I really think he's going to beat him. But, all right. So Martinez weighed in 159, Chavez 158. So he was actually 2 pounds under. I don't know if you can see it right here. It's kind of a blurry picture. But yeah, he was 2 pounds under, and had no problem in that fight either. And then again, like right around this time, that's when he stopped getting on the scales. But it is rumor, and I even heard Michael Montero mention this on his channel the other day. It's rumored that Chavez put on like nearly 30 pounds in that fight. I mean, look at this. So he went from this skinny little skeleton to this right here. So, and he looks a lot. And the reason I think people say that is because he looks a lot heavier, or he looked a lot heavier in the Martinez fight. Than maybe like the Andy Lee or the Manfredo or the Rubio or the zbik or whatever, So he just looked a lot heavier. So I think that's why a lot of people, and plus, people, the weight gets out, even if, someone from your team will leak it, tell a friend, tell a cousin, he tells them, they tell, it gets out. So, it could be a towel boy, you know what I mean? Like it always gets out. So I wouldn't doubt it if he came in, 190 pounds, right? I mean, he kind of looks like it right there. I mean, made at least 180 something. So, I thought that was pretty incredible that he could put on that much weight overnight. Now, and I was gonna leave out the Bryan Vera fight and just go right to Fonfara, but let me just mention. Okay, Bryan Vera. Now, you guys remember the first fight, he couldn't make weight. This is where Chavez had the weight problems, okay, and they had to renegotiate to a catchweight. So, well, and this was at 168. So, you got to think. Martinez was at middleweight. Chavez weighed in 2 pounds under middleweight, right? In September 12th for the Martinez fight. Okay, then going into going into the Bryan Vera fight, which was like literally 1 year later. So from Martinez, September 2012, and then you got a year later, September 2013, Bryan Vera, which he won both fights. I mean, of course, he won both fights, but they had to renegotiate. Okay, he could not make the 168, so they renegotiated. I believe it was 173, 173-pound catch weight. So that's like that's pretty significant. I mean, that's a five. So basically, he was 173, or whatever, somewhere around there, because they wanted to renegotiate. And they so they made that the first fight at 173. Now the rematch, they both came in under, and the rematch was at super middleweight. So you see what's going on here. 2012 middleweight, dude puts on 30 pounds. Okay, right. Then Bryan Vera, fight number one, can't make weight. They come up with a catch weight, 173. And you're like, okay, well, all right. So then in a rematch, they both come in at 167 and a half. So they make the super middleweight. So, and again, then I don't know if I said it, but the first original fight was super middleweight, 168 pounds. But again, he couldn't make it. But he made it in the rematch, So, but what I attribute that to, or contribute that to, is just a bad camp, an undisciplined Chavez, which I don't think we have now. I think now we have a very focused and determined Chavez. I really do. So, and this is. When people refer to the weight problems, they go back to the Bryan Vera fight, the original, when they had to renegotiate. And then, of course, just the fact that he packs on so much weight overnight. So, But all right, getting into the fonfara fight now. You see, he's looking a lot better here. Okay, he's looking a lot better. I mean, a lot better than where'd it go? Than this shit right here. So I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you're pretty much. Well, and he is coming in a lot heavier, but still, that fight was at a catchweight, the Fonfara fight, and I think that's when he kind of, I guess you could say he started having problems around the Martinez fight, um, but I don't know. That's debatable. And it's really not that important anyway. But okay, the Chavez. Okay, now that was at a catchweight, 172-pound catchweight. So Chavez came in at 171 and a half. So right here, he's 171 and a half. Okay, and I think he's going to look similar to this, but of course thinner at the Canelo catchweight because he's already looking like this, cut, trim, lean, So I think I don't know. I just think he's going to be really skinny but cut, muscular, and I think he'll look a lot like the picture you're looking at right now. Now, getting into here. Let me get this off here. Getting into the Marcos Reyes fight. Now, he didn't make weight for that fight, okay? But so this is the second time in his career. So just people keep saying, "Oh, he never makes weight," and this, that, and the other. I'm like, I mean, as far as I know, it was only two times, right? So during the Bryan Vera fight and the Marcos Reyes fight. So now, he had other problems, which I'll get into in a minute. But okay, in this fight here, it was at 100, I believe, yeah, 170 pounds. Okay, so the Reyes fight was at 170 pounds. Now, and this is what I like to refer to because this was 2015. The Fonfara fight was 2015. So going back to Fonfara, the 172-pound catch weight, right? Because anytime you're looking at a fight, you kind of want to look at the last three. So just to rattle them off real quick, okay, you got the Fonfara in 2015. It was at 172-pound catch weight. Okay, Marcos Reyes 2015. That was at 170-pound catch weight as well, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was at 170. And Chavez came in and he did not make weight for that fight. Okay, and he had to pay. What's his name? Marcos Reyes some money, but he was only point. Now, here's the weird thing. If you watch the weigh-in, they say that he was point 0.4 ounces over, right? So, I mean, it's like the dude could have went and, like, took a piss and, like, made weight. I mean, he almost made weight. So, I don't think it was that it was like they were being irresponsible or whatever. I really think that they thought they were going to, like, hit it right on the nose, right on the button, and he just came in, 4 ounces over. But then all the articles and anything that you look at online said he was 8 ounces or it was point 0.8. He weighed in at 70.8. But if you go back and watch the actual weigh-in, it was 0.4. So point 0.4, point 0.8, under a pound, under half a pound. So yeah, I think they just miscalculated. I don't think they were being irresponsible. I don't think that he couldn't take that off. I think that he came in a little heavy, under half a pound, and they just gave Reyes a little cash, threw him some cash, not a big deal, right? I mean, it's really not. We're talking about ounces. So, you got Bryan Vera, he didn't make that, and then the Marcos Reyes, okay? So, now the Dominik britsch, by the way, that was at 168, and he did make weight. He did make weight. I think I got a picture of that. Yeah, I do actually. Let's see. Where is it at? Right here. Okay, Chavez. So this is a post I put up. This is Chavez at 168 not long ago. So imagine another 3.5 pounds. Okay, so you got to think. Back in December of 2016, he came in at 168 pounds, right? So really, they're only asking him to drop 3.5 pounds. Okay, so 164.5. So it's doable, right? I mean, like I said, he made 168 in the Dominik britsch fight. So to drop another 3.5 pounds, I totally think it's doable with a disciplined Chavez. He's like I said, he's got Mimo, he's got all these guys in his corner. So his last fight at 168, so he's only got to lose 3.5 pounds. But also keep in mind, he is slowly coming down to this weight, and he is doing it the right way. So I think Chavez will look a lot better during the weigh-in this time around. You can see right here, Chavez came in 167.9. So actually, that's even more telling, So he came in, about half a pound under. Dominik Britsch 168.5. So made weight. So the only two times that he did not make weight was Bryan Vera and the Marcos Reyes. So unless there's another time that I'm leaving out, maybe really early on in his career, maybe something like that. So here's the Dominik Britsch fight, which he won by unanimous decision. So you go back and look at the losses. Sergio Martinez, which I think remember in the end of that fight, he kind of had Martinez in a lot of trouble. So he came close to winning that, but that I think that was just an undisciplined Chavez, and it cost him the fight. And then the fonfara fight, same thing. I think if I remember right, he pretty much lost like every minute of every round in that fight. Actually, yeah, I remember looking at Chavez Sr. over there in the audience, and he was like, like I told you so. I told you, I told you, I told you, I tried to tell you. So yeah, so. Like I said, but he's got two losses. I mean, you look at Canelo's record, and it's not they're not far apart. But I can't remember. Actually, I can't remember how many fights Canelo has total. I can't just off the top of my head. I cannot. I can name his last 10 opponents, but can't remember how many total. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the weight problems, as people say. As far as I can tell, like I said, he came in. He's only 3.5 pounds off from his last fight. So I don't like it. I'm not trying to justify what Golden Boy. I'm not trying to justify what they're doing, but what I'm saying is it's completely doable. And then people will say, well, yeah, but he's only fighting like he's only had one fight in 2016, which is true. He had that Dominik Bridge. So I really think the ring rust is going to be as much or more of an issue than the weight. Because I mean, even as a boxer myself, I can tell you that you're at your best when you're in the ring the most. I mean, when you're in that ring, that is like the best training you can get, or preparation, whatever you want to call it. Actually being in the ring is really important to a boxer's career. So yeah, I mean, hopefully he's getting a lot of good sparring in, which I've seen a lot of video out there. I think he is, but I just don't think the weight will be as big as a deal as everyone is making it, and especially now that he's disciplined and he's doing the right thing. Now, the only thing I'm hoping, here's the what a, like the oh shit factor, right? Like, I'm worried he's either going to overtrain. Number one, he's going to overtrain, or he's going to fall off. He's going to just start, okay, I can't do it anymore, whatever, But I don't know. I mean, as far as I can tell, he's on track. So. But I am really curious to see what he looks like during the weigh-in. I don't think we're gonna get this Chavez right here. I mean, that just looks like an alien, man. That looks like some dude from outer space. That doesn't even look like Chavez. But I think we're gonna get more of a Chavez like in the Fonfara. Okay, that's what I think. And like I said, he was 171 and a half right there, which is a pretty far off from the Canelo catchweight. But I think he'll look a lot like this. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to break that down for you. So when people tell you, oh, Chavez hasn't weighed that since Martinez, no. I mean, well, I guess it is true in a sense, because you look at the Martinez fight, and he was 159. So that's what he weighed in. Then everything after that, it was 173. With Bryan Vera, and then the rematch, it was super middleweight 167 and a half, and then Fonfara catchweight 171. So it is true, but you have to look at what was going on in his life at that time, and then also you have to look at his last two fights. Okay, you have. I mean, it's just have to, right? With Dominik Britsch, 168, 3.5 pounds, boom, he made, he made the weight. So you have to look at that. The Marcos Reyes, that was 170 pounds. So, now that's a little further off from the Canelo catch weight, but I think we'll be okay. So anyway, what do you guys think? I mean, does this change your opinion about the weight? About the catch weight? I mean, just kind of going over it. When you really go over it, you look at it, you study it, you break it down. I'm thinking in my mind, if he can make 168 for this little bullshit Dominik Britsch fight, then he can drop another 3.5 for Canelo. I mean, in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. So, anyway, that's just my theory. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Anyway, you guys, if you're watching the video out there, please subscribe. And it's like I hate begging for this shit, but it's like, if I don't hit at least like 1,000 subs pretty soon, and look, most channels hide it. Okay, most channels they turn that off, like so you can't see how many subscribers I have, but I leave it up because I don't really care. Because and the fact that I have a low number because I'm a new channel, which my growth rate is good. I'm at is for the category I'm in, which is sports and boxing. My growth rate is really good on YouTube analytics, but it's a tight niche community, a tight niche group, and I show my how many people sub to the channel. But I think it hurts me in a lot of ways. I think people see that and go, oh, you only got like 800, he must not be that good. And you go over to these other channels and they got, 10,000, 20,000. Well, most of them are bought and paid for, or they've been doing this for 3 or 4 years, and I've been doing it for 3 or 4 months. So, and I think, eventually I'm going to run circles around them. And, that's my goal, is to, at least be able to compete with these other channels, to get my side of the argument, to get your side of the argument out, and report things in a fair, honest, non-biased way. So that's what we try to do. So please subscribe. And I got another video coming out here in a minute, and it will be the Kovalev-Andre Ward update. So I'm kind of playing catch up today. So yeah, I'll put out maybe 1 or 2 more. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.